The massive alien ship appeared over New York City on a quiet Tuesday morning. It was bigger than anything humans had ever built, stretching across the sky like a dark metal cloud. The ship's surface gleamed with strange purple lights, and its shadow covered most of Manhattan. The world watched and waited. Military jets circled nearby, but no one fired a shot. This was humanity's first contact with aliens, and everyone knew these next moments would change history forever. Inside the UN building, world leaders gathered quickly for an emergency meeting. They had practiced for this day, but no one really thought it would happen. Security cameras showed the streets filling with people looking up at the sky, many recording with their phones. The alien ship's first message boomed across the city like thunder. People of Earth, we are the Crixians. We rule this part of the galaxy. Surrender now, and we will be merciful rulers. On screens worldwide, the aliens showed themselves for the first time. They looked like giant wolves walking on two legs, with sharp teeth and fierce yellow eyes. Each Crixian stood over 8 feet tall, wearing armor that glowed with the same purple light as their ship. The Crixian leader, Commander Vex, smiled at the human leaders, showing rows of sharp teeth. You should feel honored, he said. We rarely give planets a chance to surrender, but you seem interesting. Your cities are impressive, even if your technology is primitive. General Sarah Chen, chosen to speak for Earth, stepped forward. She was shorter than the aliens by half, but she didn't look scared. Instead, she smiled back at them. It wasn't a friendly smile. Welcome to Earth, she said calmly. We appreciate your generous offer, but I think there's been a misunderstanding. Commander Vex laughed, a sound like growling thunder. Misunderstanding? We are the apex predators of the galaxy. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. What could we misunderstand? General Chen walked closer to the screen. You think you're here to decide Earth's fate, but really, you're here to learn something important. She paused, looking straight into the alien's yellow eyes. You're not the apex predators you think you are. The Crixian commander's smile faded. You dare challenge us? We evolved from the greatest hunters in the galaxy. Our ancestors chased prey across entire continents. Really? General Chen asked. She pressed a button, and images appeared on the screens around them. They showed humans in Africa, running for hours under the hot sun, chasing animals until they collapsed from exhaustion. More images followed. Humans hunting mammoths with spears, humans crossing oceans in wooden ships, humans climbing the highest mountains. We evolved from persistence hunters, she explained. We can run longer than any animal on our planet. We survived an ice age with sticks and stones. We turned wolves, creatures very much like you, into loyal dogs who serve us, and that was just the beginning. The Crixian leader's fur bristled. You're just soft creatures who hide in buildings. You have no fangs, no claws. We don't need them, General Chen replied. We have something better. We turned rocks into tools, plants into food, and lightning into power. We didn't just adapt to our environment, we changed it to suit us. She stepped even closer to the screen. And here's something else you should know. Those jets flying around your ship, they're not there to protect us from you. They're there to protect you from us. Commander Vex snarled, You threaten us? We could destroy your cities in minutes. You could, General Chen agreed, but you won't. Because deep down, you're starting to realize something that scares you. You're not the most dangerous species in this room. You're just the loudest. She turned to walk away, then stopped and looked back. Take some time to think about that. When you're ready for a real conversation about Earth's place in the galaxy, we'll be here. Just remember, you came to our world, Commander, not the other way around. As General Chen left the room, the Crixian leader stood in shocked silence. For the first time in their history, someone had stood up to them. And even worse, they weren't sure they could win this fight. Outside, the sun began to set behind the alien ship, casting long shadows over the city. But in offices and homes around the world, humans smiled. They had waited a long time to meet aliens. Now it was time to show the galaxy what humanity could really do. 3 days after their first contact, the Crixians decided to prove their superiority. Commander Vex sent a challenge to Earth: their best hunters against humanity's best warriors. The contest would take place in Earth's most dangerous jungle, the Amazon. "Let us show you what real predators can do," Vex announced over the global broadcast. His yellow eyes glowed with pride as he stepped out of his ship wearing only light combat gear. 5 more Crixian hunters followed him, each carrying advanced energy weapons that hummed with purple light. General Chen surprised them by choosing an unusual team: 2 tribal hunters from Africa, a Canadian wilderness guide, a Russian survival expert, and a retired British Marine. None carried any weapons more advanced than basic survival gear. "This is an insult," Vex growled. "You send primitives against our elite hunters." The British Marine, Captain Emma Price, just smiled. "The only primitive thing here is thinking that fancy weapons make you a better hunter." The contest rules were simple. Each team had to survive for 3 days while hunting the other team. Whoever captured more opponents would win. The whole world would watch through small camera drones flying above the jungle. The Crixians started confidently, using their advanced sensors to track human heat signatures. They moved fast through the jungle, their powerful legs carrying them over fallen trees and through thick brush. But after 6 hours, they hadn't caught anyone. Instead, strange things began happening to the alien hunters. First, their water supplies disappeared from their camp while they were hunting. Then their energy weapons started failing one by one, filled with sticky sap that somehow got into their power cells. "Impossible," Vex snarled when his last weapon died. "These humans are supposed to be behind us, but they're all around us." As night fell, the humans revealed their strategy. They hadn't been running away. They'd been herding the Crixians into a trap. The aliens found themselves in a part of the jungle where the ground wasn't solid. Their heavy bodies kept sinking into hidden mud pits that the lighter humans could easily cross. "You see, Commander," Captain Price's voice came through their communicators. "While you were charging through the jungle looking for us, we were studying you. Your fancy armor. It overheats in our humidity. Those advanced sensors. Useless when we covered ourselves in mud to mask our heat." The humans had used the Crixians' own pride against them. By letting the aliens think they were the hunters, the humans had turned them into prey. One by one, the alien hunters found themselves trapped or exhausted. Their superior strength meant nothing when they were stuck in mud or tangled in vines. Their night vision couldn't help when clever humans used the jungle itself as a weapon. By the second day, 3 Crixians were captured. They sat in amazement as the tribal hunters showed them how they'd tracked them by broken leaves and disturbed insects, signs no technology could detect. Commander Vex lasted until the final hour. The humans found him by a river, his fur matted with mud, his pride broken. Captain Price approached him alone, carrying only a simple rope. "How?" Vex asked, his voice hoarse from the humidity. "We are stronger, faster, better armed." "But not smarter," Price replied. "You hunt like wolves, charging in for a quick kill. We hunt like humans, watching, waiting, using our minds instead of just our muscles. That's why we survived on Earth, while other predators died out." The Crixian commander looked at the human with new respect. "We thought you were prey species playing at being warriors. But you're something else entirely, aren't you?" Price helped the alien leader up. "We're humans. We turned hunting into an art form, then moved beyond it. Maybe it's time your people learned to do the same." As they walked back to the extraction point, the world watched in awe. The Crixians had entered the jungle as proud conquerors. They left with a new understanding. On humanity's world, everyone else was prey. Back on their ship, Commander Vex made a call to his homeworld. "Send diplomats," he said quietly. "We're not dealing with prey animals here. We're dealing with something new. something that hunts the hunters. The Crixian diplomats arrived with an unexpected proposal. To prove the jungle contest wasn't a fluke, they wanted to test humans in different environments. But this time, they invited other alien species to watch. The tests would take place in 3 locations: the frozen wastes of Antarctica, the burning sands of the Sahara Desert, and most surprisingly, underwater in the Pacific Ocean. The Crixians were sure humans couldn't excel in all these places. "Your species can't even breathe underwater," sneered Vex's replacement, Admiral Cora, a female Crixian with silver-streaked fur. "And your bodies aren't made for extreme temperatures. Surely you'll show your weakness now." Dr. Maya Patel, Earth's new representative, simply nodded. "Interesting challenge. We accept." In Antarctica, the aliens watched in disbelief as Inuit guides not only survived but thrived in the cold. While Crixian observers shivered in heated suits, humans built ice shelters and caught fish through holes in the ice. "Your technology keeps you alive," explained Sarah, an Inuit elder, as she sipped hot tea in her igloo. "Our knowledge keeps us living." The desert test proved even more surprising. Tuareg nomads, working with Australian Aboriginal guides, showed how humans could find water where none seemed to exist. They demonstrated how to read the stars, track animals by the smallest signs, and find shelter in seemingly empty landscapes. But the underwater test, that's where humanity truly shocked the galaxy. The Crixians had expected humans to rely on clunky submarines. Instead, they watched in amazement as Filipino freedivers worked alongside modern marine biologists. Humans dove hundreds of feet deep on a single breath, planted coral gardens, and built underwater habitats. "Impossible," whispered a Zentari observer, a squid-like alien who prided themselves on their aquatic abilities. "Their bodies aren't designed for this." "That's where you're wrong," Dr. Patel explained during a broadcast to the growing alien audience. "We're designed to adapt, to learn, to change our environment and ourselves." Then came the real surprise. During the tests, humans weren't just surviving, they were studying the alien observers. Every piece of alien technology, every biological advantage, every cultural habit was noted and analyzed. On the final day, Dr. Patel revealed humanity's true achievement. "While you were testing us, we learned how your heating suits work. We figured out how the Zentari manage water pressure. We even decoded 3 new alien languages." She smiled as stunned silence filled the alien observation ships. "You see, these weren't just survival tests. They were learning opportunities. In 3 weeks, we've advanced our technology by decades." Admiral Cora's fur bristled with alarm. You tricked us." "Not at all," Dr. Patel replied calmly. "We simply did what humans always do. We adapted, we learned, we grew stronger." The other alien species began murmuring among themselves. Many were sending urgent messages to their homeworlds. They'd come to watch humans struggle. Instead, they'd witnessed something unprecedented, a species that could thrive anywhere and learn from everything. As the tests concluded, a young Crixian scientist approached Dr. Patel privately. "I understand now," she said quietly. "Your planet's harshness didn't weaken you. It forced you to become something new, something better." Dr. Patel nodded. "That's why we're not afraid of challenges or changes. They're opportunities to evolve." Back at the UN, world leaders received an unexpected message. Several alien species were requesting human teachers. They wanted to learn this strange human ability to adapt and innovate. The galaxy was changing, and humanity, the supposed primitive species, was leading that change. Admiral Cora made one final observation before leaving Earth. "We came to test humans," she told her superiors. Instead, they tested the limits of what we thought was possible. The Crixians made their biggest mistake 3 months after the environmental tests. They thought they'd finally found humanity's weakness, our division into different countries and cultures. "Look at them," Admiral Cora announced to the Galactic Council. "They fight among themselves. They have different leaders, different beliefs. They don't even speak the same language. A true apex species needs unity, like our pack structure. To prove her point, she launched what she called the Division Project. The Crixians offered advanced technology and trade deals to different Earth nations, trying to turn them against each other. They expected humans to fight over these gifts like hungry wolves over meat. What happened next shocked the entire galaxy. Instead of competing, Earth's nations did something unprecedented. They shared everything. When Japan received advanced AI technology, they immediately sent it to research centers in Kenya and Brazil. When India got new energy systems, they hosted a global conference to teach others how to build them. Dr. Sarah Chen, now leading Earth's new Global Innovation Center, explained it to the bewildered aliens. You thought different languages meant we couldn't communicate. But watch this. She hosted a virtual meeting where a farmer from China, a programmer from Mexico, and a teacher from Egypt worked together to solve a complex problem. Their words were automatically translated through a new AI system built by combining human creativity with alien tech. But your different cultures, Admiral Cora protested, your different ways of thinking, are our greatest strength, Dr. Chen finished. When you have a million ways of looking at a problem, you find solutions no one else can imagine. The humans demonstrated this by solving a crisis that had plagued the galaxy for centuries. The Centauri's home planet was dying due to toxic pollution. Previous attempts to clean it had failed, but Earth sent a team of experts with different backgrounds: Indigenous Australian land management specialists, Japanese pollution control engineers, Dutch water management experts, and Canadian wildlife restoration scientists. Working together, they found a solution in just 2 weeks. How? Demanded a Centauri elder. Our best scientists tried for decades. Because we didn't just use science, explained Maria Santos, a Brazilian ecologist. We combined ancient wisdom about living with nature, modern technology, and ideas from different cultures. We succeeded because we're different, not despite it. The Crixians watched in growing alarm as their division project backfired completely. Instead of creating conflict, they had given humans tools to become even stronger. Earth's nations weren't fighting, they were building something new together. Then came the demonstration that changed everything. Earth unveiled its first true global project, a planetary defense system that combined technology from 20 different nations: Russian aerospace engineering, American AI, Chinese quantum computing, Indian software, Brazilian environmental adaptation, all working together perfectly. You see, Dr. Chen told the stunned Galactic Council, we don't need a pack structure like yours. We have something better. We have a network. When one of us succeeds, we all succeed. When one learns, we all learn. Admiral Cora finally understood her mistake. Your division isn't weakness, she admitted. It's like having millions of different eyes all looking at the same problem. Exactly, smiled Dr. Chen. And now, thanks to your division project, we're stronger than ever. The final irony came when several young Crixians requested permission to study on Earth. They wanted to learn this strange human power, the ability to be different yet united, competitive yet cooperative. As news spread through the galaxy, other species began to see Earth in a new light. The planet of divided peoples had become the center of a new kind of unity, one that didn't require everyone to be the same. The Crixian pack structure suddenly seemed primitive in comparison. The Crixians weren't the only ones watching Earth. Deep in space, another species had been observing everything: the Shadowclaws, ancient rivals of the Crixians. They were massive, bear-like creatures with crystalline armor growing from their skin, and they decided that humans were becoming too powerful. One morning, thousands of Shadowclaw ships appeared in Earth's orbit. Their message was simple: surrender your technology and knowledge, or we'll destroy your moon. What happened next would be remembered for centuries. Instead of panic, Earth responded with a single word: watch. Dr. Chen activated humanity's new defense system, but it wasn't what anyone expected. No weapons fired, no shields appeared. Instead, every screen in the galaxy lit up with a live broadcast. "You want to see human technology?" Dr. Chen's voice was calm. "Let's start with what you didn't notice." Suddenly, the moon's surface rippled. What looked like moon rock was actually billions of nanobots, disguising the fact that humans had been building there for months. The moon's dark side now housed the largest science facility ever built. While everyone watched our divisions and tests, Dr. Chen explained, "We were busy elsewhere. Those environmental challenges taught us how to live in space. The alien technology you saw us studying, we improved it." The Shadowclaws laughed until their ship's engines suddenly shut down. During the broadcast, Earth's quantum computers had hacked their entire fleet. "But that's impossible," the Shadowclaw commander roared. "Our systems are organic crystals." "Exactly," replied a young Indian programmer named Arun. "And we learned about crystal computing from studying the Crixians' armor. Then we made it better." The real shock came next. Thousands of tiny lights appeared around Earth, satellites that had been invisible until now. But they weren't weapons. Each one was a miniature research station, studying everything from space weather to alien technology. "You see," Dr. Chen continued, "humans don't need weapons to be powerful. We turn everything into a tool for learning, even this invasion." The Shadowclaws watched in horror as their own ship's data began transmitting to Earth's stations. Every secret, every technology, every advantage they had was being analyzed and improved upon in real time. But Earth wasn't finished. Dr. Chen revealed their master stroke. "We knew someone would try this eventually, so we prepared a choice." She pressed a button, and holographic displays appeared on every Shadowclaw ship. "Option 1, leave now, and we share some of what we've learned. Option 2, stay, and watch how creative humans can be when we're actually trying to fight." To demonstrate, she showed them a simulation of what would happen if humans weaponized their new technologies. The Shadowclaws saw their crystalline armor turn to dust by reprogrammed nanobots, their organic computers reversed to trap them in virtual worlds, their mighty ships transformed into space stations for human expansion. The Shadowclaw commander made his decision in record time. As their ships retreated, they received a final message from Earth. "Next time, just ask. We're happy to teach anyone who comes in peace." In the aftermath, even the Crixians were stunned. "You could have done this to us at any time," Admiral Cora realized. "But we didn't," Dr. Chen smiled. "Because you learned to talk instead of threaten. That's the real test of intelligence." The galaxy learned 3 important lessons that day. 1. Humans had turned their greatest challenges into their greatest strengths. 2. They'd been 10 steps ahead the entire time. 3. Most importantly, they preferred making friends to defeating enemies. As the Shadowclaw ships disappeared into deep space, a young Crixian scientist asked Dr. Chen, "What would you have done if they had chosen to fight?" She just smiled. "That's the interesting thing about humans. You still haven't seen what we can really do. Let's hope you never have to." 6 months after the Shadowclaw incident, Earth received an unusual message. Representatives from 50 alien species were requesting an emergency meeting. Not for war or threats, but for something unprecedented. They wanted humans to fix the galaxy. The meeting took place in a new space station called Unity, built in Earth orbit using a combination of human innovation and alien technology. Its design reflected Earth's oceans, forests, and mountains, a piece of humanity's home suspended among the stars. "The galaxy is broken," declared Zix, a floating jellyfish-like being from the Andromeda arm. "For millennia, we've had only 2 choices, be predator or be prey. But humans, you've shown us a 3rd path." Dr. Chen looked around the grand meeting hall. Crixians sat beside their former victims. Shadowclaws watched from a corner, their crystalline armor dimmed in humility. Even ancient species that hadn't contacted anyone in centuries had emerged to attend. "Before we agree to help," Dr. Chen said, Let us show you something no alien has yet seen, the true secret of human power. She led them to a hidden part of the station. Inside was not a weapon or a supercomputer, but a classroom. Children from Earth were teaching young aliens how to paint, while in another room, alien children taught human kids about the stars. This is how we really conquered Earth's predators, Dr. Chen explained. Not by killing them, but by understanding them. By teaching our children to be curious instead of afraid. The aliens watched in amazement as human teenagers worked with young Crixians to solve environmental problems, while Shadowclaw cubs learned Earth sports alongside human kids. But the real surprise came next. "We're not going to fix the galaxy for you," Dr. Chen announced. "We're going to teach you how to fix it yourselves." Earth unveiled its most ambitious project yet, the Galactic Exchange Program. Every species would share their best skills while learning from others. Crixians would teach hunting ethics while learning human diplomacy. Shadowclaws would share their crystal technology while studying Earth's art and music. "But that's not how power works," protested an elder Shadowclaw. "The strong don't share their secrets." A 12-year-old human girl named Lucy stepped forward. "Then they're not really strong," she said, offering him a drawing she'd made of his species' home world. "Real strength grows when you share it." The galaxy watched in wonder as humans transformed competition into cooperation. Earth's universities opened branches on alien worlds. Alien scientists joined human research teams. Species that had fought for millennia now worked together on massive engineering projects. But humans had one condition for this new era. Every species had to accept a new galactic law based on Earth's most important lesson. The strong must protect the weak, not exploit them. The Crixians were the first to agree, followed quickly by the Shadowclaws. Soon, ancient enemies were working together to help developing species grow safely. "You've done something impossible," Admiral Cora told Dr. Chen as they watched a group of different species children playing together. "You've made power itself evolve." "No," Dr. Chen corrected her. "We just remembered what our own history taught us. The most dangerous predator can become the most dedicated protector if you show them a better way to be strong." The final proof of humanity's success came when a new species was discovered, still in its early development. Instead of fighting over who would conquer them, the galactic community came together to protect and nurture their growth. As Dr. Chen watched this unfold, she received a message from a young Shadowclaw. "Now I understand. Humans aren't the galaxy's apex predators, you're its teachers." She smiled, knowing that the galaxy had finally learned humanity's greatest truth. True power isn't about being the strongest hunter, but about helping others become their best selves. Earth unveiled its most ambitious project yet, the Galactic Exchange Program. Every species would share their best skills while learning from others. Crixians would teach hunting ethics while learning human diplomacy. Shadowclaws would share their crystal technology while studying Earth's art and music. "But that's not how power works," protested an elder Shadowclaw. "The strong don't share their secrets." A 12-year-old human girl named Lucy stepped forward. "Then they're not really strong," she said, offering him a drawing she'd made of his species' home world. "Real strength grows when you share it." The galaxy watched in wonder as humans transformed competition into cooperation. Earth's universities opened branches on alien worlds. Alien scientists joined human research teams. Species that had fought for millennia now worked together on massive engineering projects. But humans had one condition for this new era. Every species had to accept a new galactic law based on Earth's most important lesson. The strong must protect the weak, not exploit them. The Crixians were the first to agree, followed quickly by the Shadowclaws. Soon, ancient enemies were working together to help developing species grow safely. "You've done something impossible," Admiral Cora told Dr. Chen as they watched a group of different species children playing together. "You've made power itself evolve." "No," Dr. Chen corrected her. "We just remembered what our own history taught us. The most dangerous predator can become the most dedicated protector if you show them a better way to be strong. The final proof of humanity's success came when a new species was discovered, still in its early development. Instead of fighting over who would conquer them, the galactic community came together to protect and nurture their growth. As Dr. Chen watched this unfold, she received a message from a young Shadowclaw. "Now I understand. Humans aren't the galaxy's apex predators. You're its teachers." She smiled, knowing that the galaxy had finally learned humanity's greatest truth. True power isn't about being the strongest hunter, but about helping others become their best selves.